So what is this event today? We'll do that promised intro. Oh, we've got our special guest already, right? That's awesome. Everybody say hi to Atte, Ati Harjanne. I am so grateful that Atte agreed to join us. If you don't know, Atte is the Green Party's mayoral candidate. So it's a great honor and a privilege to have him here because he's actually also a kansanedustaja. He's so in the parliament. And I hear that Thursday is actually a really packed day for them and really difficult to get them anywhere. I didn't know that when I was setting that day, so it's an extra kind of piece of gratitude that even in the hectic day of the week, he's here with us. So I'll introduce Kati and then maybe we'll hear from Atten because he's to appreciate his time. But Kati is not only my wonderful best friend, so we founded, she always grants me with co-founder of FloweRescue. I think it's 90% Kati. I was grateful to be a part of coaching her and supporting her, and I'm really much looking forward to hearing you share the story of FloweRescue.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Minna. Hello, everybody. My name is Kati Mayfield. I'm the founder of FloweRescue ry. We're a Helsinki-based association, and it's really lovely to be here with you today. Some of you I have met before. Some of you can probably recite parts of the FloweRescue story with me. But some of you are new faces to me, so hopefully we can connect after the event. I'm going to preface my talk with a warning that I have 2 audience participation activities for you. So we're going to jump right into the first, which is a question. How many of you feel, in any moment, let's say this moment, a real, genuine sense of belonging? Cool. And I use the word genuine there because for me, when I think of inclusion, what I think of is being genuinely received or being received for who you genuinely are. And I think, as we have heard from the other speakers, some of us have more privilege to that genuine sense of belonging than others. Some of us are, as society, or perceived by society as more genuinely valuable than others. And I think that everybody in this room is here to change that. You might be wondering what this has to do with flowers. And I was also sort of wondering the same when Minna asked me to talk today. I mean, of course, everybody loves flowers. But then she reminded me about how many conversations we have had over the years and how much work we have done at FloweRescue to really try to further this genuine kind of sense of belonging. And a lot of the people that we work with are over the age of 65. And working with those folks makes me realize that belonging and inclusion can also be a fluid experience, that you may have inclusion and belonging in one sector of your life or in one season of your life, but then let's say you retire and your role in society changes, so too can your sense of belonging. So I'll back up a little to tell you about FloweRescue. We started in 2018. And our mission at our vision at FloweRescue is to ensure that no flower goes to waste before bringing joy to somebody, which is a very niche vision. We're working on a very niche problem, but it has parallels with a lot of the other problems and challenges that we're talking about today. In the very beginning of FloweRescue, I had this little doodle that I would show. I'm not an artist, but I would show this little doodle of a lonely guy and a lonely flower, a waste flower, bringing them together and seeing what kinds of things can happen. And that's what we do. So our mission at FloweRescue is 2-part. We have this intent to address and spark dialogue about waste and other sustainability issues in the floral industry. But we also want to use these waste flowers for good. So of course, someday we'd like to work ourselves out of a job. Someday we would like for there not to be any more flower waste. But in the meantime, we want to use these trash flowers to connect people, because flowers, after all, bring a lot of beauty and joy, and those are great mechanisms to connect us. So what is a rescue flower? To us, a rescue flower is any flower that has been deemed unsellable. So maybe it's really old, maybe it's looking a little floppy, maybe it's been used already. So it's been deemed unsellable by the vendor, but it can be cleaned up and last long enough to bring joy for a couple days for somebody. So our basic work at FloweRescue is to find these hävikki or surplus flowers. We compost a lot of them. We can't save everything. But what we can save, we clean it, we refresh it, and then we donate it on to bring joy to people who might not otherwise have access to flowers. So lots of folks in care homes and community centers, youth organizations, refugee organizations. And a lot of people have been part of this flower rescuing over the years. Many of you in this room have been part of the flower rescuing. And in bringing people together over flowers for the last 6 years, I am quite sure that, building community is more than just about sitting in the same room together. We all know that, right? That just by being here today, we are not then a community. But if we have shared experiences, if we get to genuinely connect with one another, then we start to create community. And over the last 6 years, I have seen kind of some transformative things that these trash flowers can do. And I like to joke now that flowers, not alcohol, are actually the ultimate social lubricant. And this is because flowers have a deep cultural and symbolic meaning for all of us, but they're also they're connected to very unique stories for each of us. Some of my favorite stories from FloweRescue, for example, are when we're rescuing flowers with our volunteers. And our volunteer groups tend to be very international because we're usually meeting in English. And somebody will be working with a flower over here, and they'll say, oh my gosh, this is so strange to work with this flower because where I come from, this is a funeral flower. It's very weird to think about sending this out into the community to bring joy. And then somebody on the other side of the room will say, a funeral flower, this is so romantic to me. We use this in my country for weddings. I'm thinking specifically, maybe you all know the white calla lily, which is like very, very funerally here in Finland and very posh and wedding-y in the US where I'm from. Another great moment with the flowers happens when we're doing workshops at the care homes. And usually the group facilitator at these flower workshops will have everybody around the table start by sharing a flower memory. And believe it or not, even people with memory disorders can often conjure some kind of flower memory, whether it's the flowers that their grandmother grew when they were growing up, whether it's the flowers that they had in their wedding bouquet. And sitting around together to share these flower stories is a great way to bring us into the room together and to really connect. So here comes the second audience participation exercise, which is to turn to somebody next to you. Or, well, actually, first think of a flower memory. Maybe close your eyes if it helps you sort of get into the sensory place of it. Go to some moment in your life when there were flowers, and think of who was there. Think of what you're hearing, what you're smelling, what you're feeling. And then turn to a neighbor and exchange a flower memory. Do you have a flower memory? But that's also a genuine feeling, you know? So a few flower memories to share. Thanks, everybody. And actually, as Raul and I were saying, or as you shared, flower memories aren't always joyful, right? The flower association might be attached to a funeral or a moment of great tragedy. I also have those flower memories. But we were reflecting that even that is an important way to build connection, that I know that you know the sadness of looking at a flower at a funeral and thinking of someone you've lost and you love. And that is a connection that we share. Because these flowers, they are with us in moments of celebration as well as moments of despair. And I think whatever culture you come from, that's part of what makes them so deeply symbolic. And I think this exercise is also a really good demonstration of the importance and value of inclusion and participation, because every flower story that we shared was very unique, but there were also parallels. And when I think of an inclusive Helsinki, this is what I think of everybody being able to come, to share their stories, to celebrate the differences, to see the similarities and commonalities, and then to weave a new collective story together. So this is my wish for us, facilitated by flowers as often as possible. Thank you.
I feel Katie is one of the most modest people that I know. FloweRescue is one of the most inclusive and diverse communities in Helsinki, and we often talk about this often the impact we set out to create, which has been the surplus flowers and addressing sustainability. She also actually has a master's in that. She's been in Ecuador. She's a true expert of the floral industry. I always highlight that. She knows what she's talking about when it comes to flowers and sustainability. She did her master's here in Aalto University. That's how we got her to come here and create this beautiful impact in our community. And FloweRescue gathers every Monday and Thursday at Kukkatoimitus in this one. There we go. You can become, okay, you did have a shout out. Good. You just skipped it. That's all right. That's what besties are for, to do the shout outs when. So FloweRescue has a really easy to use website where you can donate, or you can have it in English or in Finnish, and you can come volunteer Mondays and Thursdays. There's actually a wait list. That's one of the things that I love about FloweRescue. It's one of those magic things. People often talk about how hard it is to get people to come anywhere. Not to the FloweRescue volunteer evenings. People are queuing up, lining up to be on the waste list, to go through these waste flowers and to put them into bouquets or put them into buckets so they can taken into a elderly care workshop or the donation bouquets. And I love that there's been a wait list for many years now for these. And I think it shows that, are people coming for the flowers? Sure, maybe I think some, but I think people, as Katie says, people might come first for the flowers, but they come back for the community, because it's this place where you can go no matter who you are. You can be stressed, you can be tired, you can be bubbly, whatever, and you can find that genuine sense of belonging there. Everybody's as welcome as they are.